Toast. Toast. Hey everyone, welcome. In this episode, we're going to build a mirrored infinity box using these voice-controlled LED bars and this cool galaxy light bulb. Stay tuned. How hard can it be? And remember, if Alex can, so can you. Let's go! All right, here are the materials we're going to use to make this build. Obviously, we've got the galaxy bulb, LED bar. These are off of Amazon. I'll have a link below in the description. Some two-way mirrored film for the plexiglass. Mirror. Plexiglass. For the inside walls, I'm going to use some black foam board. For the outside walls, I'm using some black particle board. And then for the base, some 3/4 inch plywood. So we've got two considerations for this build. In order for that mirrored infinity effect to be most effective, you want to get your objects as close to the edge of the mirror as possible. So that's kind of one challenge. I need to be able to mount these guys as close to the bottom mirror as possible. And then the second thing is these little guys are rechargeable. So we need to build the box so we can actually take the top of the box off, pull these guys out, and charge them. So here on the bottom we've got the charging port, we've got a little tiny hole for the mic, and then up the top, power button and then mode buttons. So we're gonna have to be able to mount these inside the box and be able to take the box apart, pull them out, and charge them. When creating the base, I needed to actually use my router to cut a channel to accept the inside wall, which is the black foam cord boards. So I needed to actually get some sideline reference points that were perfectly aligned with the inside wall, so I could put a guard on my router, like a line guard, an edge guard on my router, to then route in those internal wall channels. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm penciling out the mirror shape, and then I'm actually getting some referential lines that the router guide will follow to then cut a groove channel for the foam boards to slot in. So I needed to find a router bit that was just a little bit proud of the width of the foam board width. So actually not proud, just maybe the same size, maybe a 32/2 of an inch difference. And so here I'm kind of looking through my router bits with the measuring tool, the size of the foam board. Ended up finding a pretty good router bit that made for a pretty good pressure fit for the foam boards. I still ended up using hot glue when I set them in. But here you can see I've actually got the little edge guard that follows the referential line on the outside, and then the router bit is channeling a groove just on the perimeter of where the mirror is going to go.
So I ground this little guy down so it would fit in here as flush as possible, and also ground an edge on it because it was a little bit tilted back. So this way, when you put the strip in, and I'm going to hot glue it to the bottom, it sits straight 90 and it's nice and snug in that wood hole.
I would say the most time-consuming part of this entire project was taking an X-Acto knife and carving out the 8 interior walls so it had like a snug fit for those LED light bars. Probably took me an hour, hour and a half to carve out all those interior walls. Another tip when you're carving into that corkboard, you want to do your first few cuts really light and gentle with the X-Acto knife, so it doesn't kind of pull the cork on the inside and makes for a bad tear. So one of the sidewalls had to be able to fit a light bulb and then the light bulb backing and the wire. So one of the sides of the octagon had to be a little bit longer. So here you can see me making one of those sides a little bit long. So it's not a pure octagon. It's got one long side for the light bulb. At some point when you're making projects, your workshop's going to get so dirty and dusty that it becomes a hazard, or your OCD kicks in and you just need to have a clean shop in order to progress on the project. So here we've kind of cleaned up the place, made it nice for day 2 and the final glue up to help out. I used about 1/2-inch brad nails to nail in the outside particle board walls. About 4 or 5 nails per board. Off camera, for the top piece, I took the two-way mirror film and then applied it to the clear plexiglass, just using soapy water on both sides of the film and the plexiglass. So you kind of peel the protective film off, lay the film on and squeegee it out, and then it dries in the sun and it kind of sticks to the plexiglass, and that creates the two-way mirror effect. For the top, I picked up some plastic L-shaped just edge banding or edge guard, and then cut it into sections and then hot glued it to the plexiglass on the top for the top piece. It's hard to capture on camera, but when you look down the infinity box when it's working in a dark room, it looks like it drops 20 or 30 feet, when in reality it's only about 10 inches tall. Pretty cool.
I love it when a plan comes together.